What's up everybody, today we're going to discuss the Nintendo NX and how exactly it will affect the gaming market. Here with me is She Says, but I would love for you to be a part of the conversation as well. So share your thoughts in the comments below, and with that out of the way, let's get started. Most streamers point to Nintendo's new console being a hybrid console, a mix between the home and the handheld console. The biggest factor here is that back in 2013, likely when the development of the Nintendo NX first began, Nintendo combined their handheld and home console development teams into one. Now, this is the obvious thing to do when your next console is supposed to be a mix of both, but the question I want to know is, how does this affect the current market of Nintendo games? I mean, if the new console can be played on the big screen and be taken on the go, and with development teams being combined, are we still going to get traditional handheld games and traditional home console titles? Will we only get one, or a mix of both? An example that I always think of is that we have Super Mario 3D Land on the 3DS, then we have Super Mario 3D World on the Wii U. They are basically the same game, but one is a stripped down portable version of the other, built for the best on-the-go experience, while the other is meant to be played as a traditional home console game. With the NX combining both of these markets, does this mean that all effort will be put into making the best home console titles possible, like Breath of the Wild and whatever the next big Mario game is? And we just play virtual console titles or already existing 3DS and DS games on the go? Will the games we get be looking more like advanced versions of 3D Land, Pokemon Sun and Moon, and other handheld titles, but are also able to be played on the big TV in a higher resolution? Or the third option, will things stay relatively the same and we be playing both? Something similar to the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation Vita, where we can play both the traditional handheld games on the go, and the bigger titles can be streamed from the PS4 to the Vita or simply played on the TV.
I think that there will always be a market for handheld experiences, like, what's it called? A Link Between Worlds and games of that nature. Nintendo, their most successful hardware is always going to be handhelds, and if we were to, to aid my theory about, using the controller and being able to put your cell phone in a cradle and stuff like that, well, if they go that route, they can come out with a new handheld system as well, and that handheld system can also probably be used as an NX controller, and also have that functionality that you can take away from the NX. But then, if you have that handheld, you'll also have to have software for that handheld, and I think that's where we're going to have a house for all the Link Between Worlds-esque type games.
Okay, so let me get this straight. You're saying that, in your opinion or your belief, they're going to, obviously they're not going to launch at the exact same time. So let's say that the NX comes out, and then that holiday season, or maybe the year after, the handheld part comes out. But if you have the NX and you have a tablet, a cell phone or something, you can download the app to work with your NX to where you have the dual screen experience or the portable experience for the NX on your phone or your tablet. But later on down the road, a second standalone handheld device is going to be coming out to where, if you want, can connect and work with the NX, like the Vita and the PlayStation 4.
Yep.
But has its own games made specifically just for it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. This is, of course, it's just a theory, and it's a wild theory at that, because it's just not enough to base.
Because a lot of people think that it's just going to be basically a super advanced Wii U, to where it's like you can play the games on the tablet that comes with it on the screen, or you can just take the tablet with you on the go. But to clarify for the people listening, you think that the tablet side of it will just be moved to whatever smartphone you put on your controller, and then you'll get that second screen dedicated device later on that runs its own software.
Right, and I just think that it would be a good idea, just because you can make the cost of hardware much less if you're not relying on something like the Wii U gamepad, where half the cost of the console was the pad itself.
Right, and this also goes back to, sorry to interrupt, but
no problem.
The demo for the Wii U, Breath of the Wild, that they had at this year's E3, when you looked at the gamepad, it just basically had I would say, instructions for the game, like what the different buttons do. There was no on-screen experience. So it would make sense that they build the game that they're working on for the NX to work without having to be played with both screens.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you get the second screen, you'll be able to use the dual screen experience, but you don't need it.
Right. That's again and I'm not making this up on the fly, I swear. but like I mentioned before, if it came with a husk, right, that you could put your phone in or a tablet in.
Yeah, like the Wii U Deluxe Edition came with the cradle you could stand your Wii U gamepad up on. So
right. So part of the theory is that maybe Nintendo's focus from on this new console is that a second screen is an enhanced experience, but it's not a required portion of the experience. So, like, if you bought Breath of the Wild on Wii U, you could use that pad functionality once the game is finally, finalized.
Right.
And then alternatively, you could play it on the NX, but you don't need to have any of the gamepad functionality, but you can have it available if you have a cell phone to put into the husk. Because if you didn't have a cell phone, if you're a small child who's not allowed to own a cell phone, then you wouldn't be able to use the NX, right? So
right.
I just think that if my theory was to keep, actually be accurate, which, if anyone's listening, I'm not saying that it's going to happen. It's a fool's dream. Don't get me wrong, but I just think that it's going to be primarily functionable as a regular console, but then it also has a competitive edge over the PS4 and Xbox One, whereas you can have a second screen experience to enhance the game.
A great prediction there. As I mentioned earlier, you blew my mind with the cell phone app side of it. But we're going to have to go ahead and bring this to an end. We've been going on for a little bit over an hour.
Already? Wow.
For those listening at home that, again, may not know who you are for some reason, who are you and what do you do? Where can they find you?
Okay, yeah. So I run the channel called She Says with a Z at the end. My name is Derek. We take the video games camera for either the GameCube or the Wii or the Nintendo 64, anywhere we want, and we try to find new secrets and discoveries to some of our favorite Nintendo games that we've never seen before.
Yeah, you have some really awesome videos, which is the way I found you, where you take Twilight Princess and you kind of show what certain characters look like from different perspectives and hidden objects and stuff.
I love that episode. The one with the Ganondorf cross-eyed portion.
Right.
Love that.
Alright, so for everyone that wants to go check out his awesome videos, please do. There is an example of what you can find on his channel on the video that you see right now, so please go over there, show him some love, subscribe, watch his videos, but also continue to watch mine, because why not? Alright, thank you.
Thank you, Jesse. What? Oh my god! Oh my god! Yeah, please ignore the blinking signs. So what are we doing at Mal's little shop of horrors? Well, some viewers may have noticed while playing Twilight Princess that there's a ladder to the left of you. You may be asking yourself, well, where does the ladder go? Well, guess what? We're gonna find out. Does anyone else think it's cool that this space is pretty much tailored to Mallow's height? And here we are, my friends, 2 beds and 2 tables. It's not much when you take it at face value, but when you consider the fact that you were never really meant to see this, it's a pretty interesting detail. And look, I know that you guys can see this on your own time, but I want to know, what is this picture? Why is this here? Hey Link, where'd you go, buddy? Now, before anybody gets too excited, this is the tunnel that was used in the Wolf Link segment. But look, it's still there. Can we go in it? I guess we can. Where are we gonna go? What? Oh, okay. Alright, yeah, I basically ended up right where I expected to. So I had to go on Google to make sure that nobody has seen Barnes' eyes before. I googled Barnes without glasses Twilight Princess and nothing came up. So let's take a look. Well, I wasn't expecting to see so much sadness behind those glasses. But you know what? I probably would be too. I mean, the dude looks like Napoleon Dynamite after he let himself go. And resembling Napoleon Dynamite isn't exactly a great start. Such a beautiful segment. So a viewer request asked that I check to see what the Arbiter's Grounds looks like during the Wolf Howl segment. And it didn't disappoint. So unlike the actual Arbiter's Grounds, which have no medallions, the Arbiter's Grounds in this segment has the Sage medallions from Ocarina of Time. Incredibly cool. Thanks, Rockman Peru.